Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Pricebox Productions, and welcome to Weird Reviews. It's a new series I'm starting on my channel. I'm not sure how often it will be or how long it'll go for. And that's part of the reason why there's no Weird YouTube Expedition this week, is because I'm working on this, and there was a lot of stuff to do for the holidays. So for this video, we'll be looking at and reviewing a weird movie I heard of on Twitter not too long ago called Santa Claus versus the Devil. That's actually not its real name, it's actually just called Santa Claus, but it's not exactly as exciting as the title actually makes it sound. But it's alright, I guess. But here's my review on it. Alright, here we go again. So one of the first things we see is Santa Claus setting up a nativity scene in his winter fortress while he laughs like some kind of a maniac for some reason. I don't get it. Why is he even laughing like that? Wait, what if he is some kind of a maniac? So Santa, after his required evil laugh, decides it's time to rally his troops for his yearly oh my gosh, they're all kids! What, is Santa running some kind of child worker commune or something? Is he trying to, like, escape child labor laws? And why are they all stereotypes? I mean, the movie was produced in Mexico, but even they're portrayed as a stereotype for some reason. Alright, in all seriousness, this was possibly pretty progressive for its time, considering that Santa is said to view all races and creeds equally after all, but still. Okay, that's probably not very appropriate. I don't know about the rest of you, but this set doesn't look very convincing. It also looks like it could come apart in any minute. So after roll call, two of Santa's helpers bring in an effigy of the devil, although Santa doesn't recall making it or even anybody ordering it. So Santa lights up the tail, and now we're in hell. And we're treated to what is probably the worst dance routine I've ever seen. I mean, it looks so uncoordinated. And then the devil himself speaks through the fire and commands all of the demons to disappear in the cheapest way possible. Except Pitch.
You, Pitch, chief of all my demons, must listen closely. The time is almost here when you must abandon the brimstone pits and journey up to earth. But this time you must not fail as you've done in the past. You must not be defeated by that bearded old goat, Santa Claus.
I don't understand. Wouldn't the devil calling someone a goat be kind of a compliment? So now we have an off-screen moment of awesome where I assume Santa has apparently defeated Pitch before. So why does the devil continue to trust this guy if he's lost so many times? Send this guy or something.
Especially chocolate. It's very bad for my digestion, which is so delicate. So be it, Lucifer.
And he's off. Okay, now why is the Santa robot laughing like that? You're making it kind of hard to discern who the villain is here. So now we meet the two children who Pitch decides to torment.
Here is a good little boy, whose daddy is quite rich. This mother, on the other hand, is very poor. And this is her daughter, Lupita, whose fondest dream is to own a doll. Any doll.
Okay, so honestly, I find myself relating to both the little boy and the little girl in this movie to a certain extent, because my dad, despite living with us, was not a very big presence in my life or the life of any of my siblings, and we actually weren't that wealthy either, so this part came off as somewhat relatable from both perspectives for me.
Who are these three? Say, it's rude to push and shove like that. But the devil likes rude little boys, and it doesn't take him long to find them. They're just right for his evil plan. Well, one thing is certain. The devil has turned them against Santa Claus.
Honestly, with that creepy laugh, it's not that hard to do.
Suddenly, he's with them again.
So Pitch gives the three kids some rocks to vandalize the store, and one of them manages to throw it hard enough that it reaches Santa's winter's fortress somehow.
Darn that devil. Oh, I'm sorry, but that old devil is always annoying me with his mischief. If I could only go down there now, I'd put him in his place. But everyone knows I can only go down to Earth on Christmas Eve and not before.
You know, it's not exactly explained yet, but what exactly happens to Santa Claus if people actually see him? Huh.
In the meantime,
And so after conferring with his three helpers, they decide to observe the children through a series of devices that would put the NSA to shame. Now, I don't know how many of you actually follow me on Twitter, but I've said before that to me, Santa Claus in fact comes off as some kind of a stalker slash prowler who breaks into your home and leaves gifts for some reason. I mean, if it were anybody else, they'd probably be in jail. Yeah, hello, 911. I got someone to report to you. Like, there's a weird guy walking around the house across from me. He's wearing a red suit, and he's like, yeah, he's about maybe mid-70s, early 80s. He's up on the roof now, and he's carrying a bag with him. Oh, okay. Now he looks like he's trying to go down the chimney. Yeah, you probably want to send everybody you got. I don't know what he's carrying in that bag, but it looks dangerous. You probably want to send SWAT and everybody. Alright, thank you. After a short time, and a very confusing visual perspective, they find the girl in Mexico.
She's still dreaming about that doll she wants for Christmas.
I don't exactly understand how no one saw her. It's not like she's a master thief. I mean, you could very clearly see her take it and see her hide it in her blouse like that. I mean, it's not well hidden.
It's bad to steal.
But rather than choose a life of crime, she decides to resist pitch and return the doll.
That's right, put it back. Good girl.
Now, to be honest, I don't really like the whole being good for the sake of being rewarded, because it's never really a guarantee that you'll get a reward for doing anything good. Instead, you should actually be good, just be good for the sake of it. So after that, Santa moves on to observe the other child by invading his dreams. Okay, so why is Santa coming off as so sinister in this movie? So we find out that the only thing he wants is to see his parents. He then looks into Lupita's dreams, and we see a scene that is honestly both heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time.
I wonder if our child is dreaming.
I recall when I was a little girl, I often would dream of great riches. That I had all the things I wished for and not a care in the world.
And then Pitch decides to ruin it with his cheapo teleporting and blowing into Lupita to influence her dreams. Okay, so how are the villain and the hero both coming off as extremely creepy in this movie? Well, how do you even do that? So after that, Santa observes the three bad boys from earlier trying to commit the crime of the century by trying to trick Santa and convince him that they're actually good kids. We then revisit the boy from earlier writing his letter to Santa and... wait, where did these other kids come from?
More Santa Claus?
More Santa Claus.
Off they go. Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus.
So that's how the letters reach him.
My dear Santa Claus, this year I have behaved very well. I have been obedient and have studied very much. For that reason, please try to bring me these toys. A toy automobile, a submarine, a football, a bat, roller skates, a scooter, a cannon, a rocket, a bicycle, an atomic laboratory, a machine gun. Ooh.
What, is this kid going to war or something? What does he need all this for? Is he planning to become a supervillain? Well, considering, I mean, if Santa Claus is his role model, and considering what we've seen before, maybe this is the I don't even know what to think about that. Like, seriously.
Everything.
And so the crime of the century has failed. We also find out Santa has connections to the stork for
Here's one for you,
certain
Mrs.
wishes.
Stork. wizard.
You know, oddly for a movie that certainly has a Christian background, Santa receives assistance from Merlin the Wizard and the Roman god Vulcan for special equipment for some reason. I mean, I can't imagine a lot of Christians now would be, you know, alright with that.
Mr. Merlin!
I assume something must have gone wrong during filming here because of the way the film quality suddenly dropped significantly. Santa then receives sleeping powder and the flower to disappear. You get 2 guesses to figure out what that last one does. He then gets the key to everywhere. This includes your house, by the way, from Vulcan.
Work of art. It has no equal.
Oh my gosh, what is happening here? Okay, Santa, you're enjoying that thing way too much. I don't even know how this makes sense. So Santa and his helpers load his sleigh, and after Santa, winds up his reindeer, he's off to Mexico City.
Phew, that was close. He almost ran into the moon.
We then find the 3 bad boys from before planning to capture and enslave Santa Claus. Okay, what is up with these kids? Is this what some people think non-Christian children are like or something?
And we'll stick them in a sack, and then we'll go home with all of Santa's toys. But what about Santa? We can make him our slave, and all his candies and toys will belong to us. So whenever we want something... Oh boy, this is going to be fun.
Pitch tries to thwart Santa by moving the chimney out of place, despite this being, you know, kind of impossible architecturally wise. Though it doesn't stop him, as he just decides to pick the lock. You know, like the average prowler. Moving on to the next house, Pitch literally tries to blow smoke up Santa's ass through the chimney. He also burns the door handle to keep him out, but Santa just goes through the window. You know, like the average prowler. I find it weird that no one in these houses has heard any of what's going on.
Do something for you that I only do for children who are very good. I would let you see me as I am, and therefore I will use the powders that will make you dream that you're awake.
Santa Claus, you love me, don't you? Say you love me, Santa.
Okay, that got creepy fast. Okay, Santa, the way you're holding him isn't exactly helping your case here.
Of course I love you.
Santa then pays a covert visit to the boys' parents and helps them remember what's most important, and they return home to their son. So the 3 bad boys move into place to implement their Santa enslavement plot, but it ultimately fails and they end up receiving coal.
Some present for our Christmas. Santa Claus doesn't like us.
Well, this seems oddly familiar. So after all has failed, Pitch tries to steal Santa's sleigh and cut the rope ladder, both to no success. Surprisingly.
Mr. Pitch has decided to steal Santa's sleigh. That's a relief. The reindeer won't obey him.
He then cuts the pouch holding Santa's sleeping powder and the flower to disappear.
The flower to disappear. And now Santa won't be able to make himself invisible.
I'm assuming this is where the movie was supposed to climax? Or something? It doesn't really feel that way. Moving on to the next house, Pitch sicks the family dog on Santa, sending him up a tree.
It's your only chance. Get out! Go away!
There's a prowler out there.
Well, the way I see it, Pitch isn't exactly wrong here.
Children, he's really quite vicious. He's hiding up in your tree. Defend yourself. He's going to murder you. He's going to murder you.
Pitch then decides to crank call the cops and the fire department in order to get them to show up and reveal the existence of Santa Claus.
Fire department! Firemen! Firemen! The house is burning!
Okay, how does that even happen? That's not even remotely how phones work. Or fire, as a matter of fact.
No, this is no time for manners.
What the hell? Why does everyone have guns? Even the kids are packing heat. Are we suddenly in some kind of NRA fantasy sequence or something?
You hear those sirens? They're for you. The show is about to begin, and you'll never get back before sunrise. Your reindeer will turn into powder. You will starve to death, and I will rule the earth.
Wait, so if Santa is seen, he will starve to death? How does that even work? Santa finally manages to escape from the guard dog by means of a very unconvincing cat toy. In the end, Santa finally visits Lupita to give her a doll and the good Christmas her and her family rightfully deserve.
Mommy, isn't it a pretty dolly?
Alright, so this movie is actually only an hour and a half long, but just like this entire year, it felt like it really dragged on for way too long. It felt like a lot longer than it did when I watched it the first time. I mean, it's not very exciting, but it does offer that lesson that those who do good should definitely be rewarded. Other than that, it's pretty much a basic Christmas movie. I mean, it doesn't feel very memorable or exciting despite its somewhat awesome fan title. So it does come off as genuinely kind of boring. But the overall lesson is still very good and really should be said. So alright, so that does it for this review, so be sure to check out my other videos, as well as Prizebox Productions' other videos, as well as our channels Prizebox Gaming and Prizebox Reacts. Thanks for watching, and stay jamming, everyone.